back with comedian David Boyle, and I'm quitting alcohol. So I've shifted my investing attention from Bitcoin and Bitcoin miners to US presidential election betting. There's some value out there, I can tell you that right now. So what I'm looking at are options for the Democratic nominee, because I don't think it's going to be Biden. It just doesn't feel right. I know there's been like some conspiracies out there on the internet saying the whole thing was a setup, because it did seem weird. Like every single person in the entire world knew Joe Biden had dementia before this, except for the left-leaning mainstream media. And then the debate happened, and directly after the debate, every single outlet like CNN, NBC, everyone just switches over, and now they're just lambasting fucking Biden. They're like, he is cognitively declining. And every single other human being on planet Earth is like, yeah, we knew that, cunts. So it does feel like the old switcheroo is in play, and there's murmurs. There's murmurs going around. You've heard them. I've heard them. We've all heard them. Michelle Obama. Now, I first started hearing about those murmurs maybe like a year ago or a year and a half ago. And I looked at the price for Michelle Obama to be the nominee, and it was like $26 at the time. 26 to 1. Put $1 on, win 26 back. And I was like, that's a bit thin. This far out, you'd be wanting like around about like the 60 to 80. Like, she's not a politician. She's never said she wanted to run. There's been no indication. So 26 was a little tight. And I was like, why is it that tight? So I gently kept an eye on it, and it's been shortening for months now. Right now, as we sit on Sportsbet in Australia, it's $8. $8 for Michelle Obama to be the Democratic nominee. I checked it as soon as I watched the debate the other day. I went straight to Sportsbet and checked what Michelle Obama was paying, and she was paying $18. And I was like, oh, I just couldn't pull the trigger. And then yesterday I went back and checked, and she was at $14. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to do it. And I didn't do it. I waited another couple of hours, and she was paying $13.50. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm pulling the trigger. That's 13.5x. So I put $100 on Michelle Obama at $13.50. And now she's down to $8. And to be honest with you, I just deposited another $100 into Betfair. And I'm just waiting for my $11.50 to 1 to be matched. So soon I'll have $200 on Michelle Obama to be the DNC candidate. Now, I don't even know how likely that is, but I'm sure as fuck that Biden is not making it to the election. There's only so much you can do. There's only so many times you can fucking juice someone up and get some life out of them before it just completely fades away. I remember when my nana was in her last stages, she was in heaps of pain, and then they gave her this steroid, and she had like a really good like 7 or 10 days. She was bouncing around. She was feeling great. But after that, once the steroid wore off and equilibrium set back in, it was the beginning of the end. And I feel like there's only so many more times they can juice fucking Joe up. Juice Joe up to fucking get some life into him before the eyes just glaze over forever. And so on the betting line, it's Joe Biden, $1.60. You wouldn't take that money. No way. He'll probably die before then. There's 128 days he needs to survive just to get the nomination. On the second line of betting is Gavin Newsom. And you wouldn't think any cunt would vote for that fucking slimy, swimey bastard, would ya? Hasn't he driven California into the fucking ground over the last like 10 years? Wasn't he the piece of shit during COVID that was like mandating masks and then was out and about just fucking mask free, loving life. Isn't he like the greatest symbol of the patriarchy? He's like the biggest symbol of the patriarchy there is. But he's also liberal as well. So he reminds me of the fucking American version of Trudeau. Just a fucking rich, useful idiot. And then on the third line of betting is Michelle Obama. And I went to her Twitter, and apparently her mum died earlier this month. And she hasn't made a tweet since early June. And I don't know, that seems like a fucking tactic. They probably killed off the mum, which will set off like sympathy voters. And she'll come out of like the silence and just go, the country needs me. Yes, I'm grieving my mum, but the country needs me. Thank you, Joe. I'll take it from here. But everyone's pushing this Michelle Obama narrative. Ted Cruz came out the other day and was like, yeah, 80% chance it's going to be Michelle Obama. Even that cunt, McAfee, from the fucking virus protection thing, there was a documentary about him. One of his last tweets in 2020 was, Joe's not going to make it to the election. Guess who they're going to replace him with? And apparently that cunt was the guy who had all Hillary Clinton's emails because he gave like a bunch of his computers to the Democrats to use them in their offices, and then he just stole all the information. And then they hunted him down like a dog for the next 10 years or 2 years. And he may have murdered someone as well. Who knows? Anyway, this Michelle Obama thing seems to be gaining some momentum. And I don't know what they're thinking, if they think Michelle Obama's going to beat Trump. I tell you what I think has been happening lately, because I can't turn on Twitter without seeing like the outline of Michelle Obama's cock in some sort of fucking photo or video, and just everyone calling Michelle Obama Big Mike. I feel like the Republicans thought it was going to be Michelle Obama the whole time, so they've started this like psyop, this Big Mike psyop, Operation Big Mike. Just to tarnish her, because fucking if she is nominated and she's running against Trump, she's going to get some fucking Big Mike action. She's going to go through more hell than any human being is even capable of handling. There's no way you get through this unscathed. It'll just be ads running 24/7 about Big Mike. Show us your pussy. Release a photo of your pussy. It was Obama's birth certificate. It's going to be Michelle Obama's twat. But anyway, I'm fucking riding Michelle Obama. I really only put this bet on because I remember back in, I think it was 2016, whenever the fuck it was, I wanted to put a bet on Donald Trump to win the presidency. It was actually before that. It must have been 2015. It was before he got the Republican nomination. Because I watched this TV show that Donald Trump released just after the global financial crisis, when everyone was negative about the US. He released this thing. It was like the most pro-American thing I've ever seen. And half of it was horseshit. But if you watched it and you were American, you would have felt like pride. Yeah, we're still here. We've still got it. It was like an early version of like Make America Great Again. It was like, we still have gold, we have oil, and he was putting like numbers to it. Our oil industry is worth billions, gold billions, infrastructure, all this sort of shit. It made me proud to be an American. I was just watching it. This is like 2009, 2010. I was like, this cunt's going to become president one day. And then later on, as he was starting to run in that, I'm like, I'm going to fucking take him. And I looked at it and it was like $70 or $80 to 1. And I was like, there's no fucking way. It's too fucking stupid. There's no fucking way Donald Trump's going to win the presidency. And by the time he won the nomination and had all the momentum and it felt like he was going to beat Hillary, he was paying like $2 or $3.50 or something like that. And it's too late then. So I didn't want to miss this Michelle Obama thing because It's just as stupid as the Trump thing. So I'm gonna at least cash in on it. Anyway, fucking that'll do it for tonight. And I'll see ya the fuck later.